A very good day to Dr. Wee. Our group from Amira Cake Lapis and Company will be presenting on the environmental policy best suited to support the environmental management system for our manufacturing factory. So to begin, our company, or more specifically, our policy will be tackling the main issue of environmental waste produced by the factory. Now, this is specified into three categories, which is organic waste, mainly from the baked goods and raw materials, the plastic packaging waste, which is also which is categorized as non-producible waste, and finally the energy waste, which would come from the machinery within the factory. So our policy can be shared to in 5 criteria. So with that said, let's begin with the first one.
Hi, I'm Azizah Zarei, and I'll be presenting the first criterion of our Amira Cake House environmental policy. The first criterion is to strive towards a pollution-free waste management system. In order to achieve that, our waste management practice will consist of 3 components, which are source reduction, recycling, and energy recovery. Our source will be reduced so that we can minimize the amounts of waste generated, whereas the waste generated will be categorized into 2 categories that is domestic waste and biological waste. Domestic waste will be segregated according to its materials, that is paper, plastic, and metal, and that will be carried forward to recycling, which is the second component. Whereas the domestic waste, that will be used for energy recovery. These 3 components are based on the preferred practice of the Environmental Protection Agency waste management hierarchy.
The second criteria is to engage and educate company employees at all levels with effective environmental practices. Within the Cake Lapis factory, there is an organizational structure which includes the factory workers, technical team, and management staffs. Each level faces their own challenges in terms of managing and mitigating any environmental issues caused by the factory. To combat environmental issues, which is the waste, it is vital to incorporate the solution at every level of the organizational structure. This approach reduces the probability of failure of compliance due to the autonomous nature of the responsibilities of the respective organizational levels. Further enforcement of compliance can be suited to each level accordingly. For the Cake Lapis manufacturing company, beginning with the factory workers, they will be provided with certified training on how to properly dispose of the factory waste, which is the organic waste and the plastic packaging waste. Short briefings will also be provided to the workers consistently to ensure that they integrate energy-saving tips to the workplace or when working. The technical team of the company will be encouraged and endorsed to participate in seminars and workshops related to green technology. The goal is to ensure that the technology that they have studied will be able to be potentially implemented into the factory to reduce any form of unnecessary waste, such as electrical waste due to heat loss of the machineries. Therefore, it is important for them to be able to potentially implement these form of green technology to improve the efficiency of the machinery and to also potentially upcycle any waste produced. The final team that will be addressed is the management sector, whereby certain staff members will be selected to handle the environmental management system team for the company. They will be sent to receive the necessary training under the ISO standard. This team will be tasked to ensure that all regulations and compliances are met.
In the third criteria, we need to implement and practice eco-friendly procedures, compliance to environmental law in the manufacturing process. In our cake house, the techniques and machinery that are being used in the procedures are required to be non-threatening to the environment. It can be done by using up-to-date manufacturing machines that are equipped with green technology. It also needs to reduce usage of plastics in the packaging process. Proper management of waste or leftovers are also important prior to disposal, including recycling and reusing the materials. It It is also needed to ensure staffs to follow all procedures that aim to minimize waste from the manufacturing process. Proper segregation also required on different type of waste before disposing the materials that are being used.
My name is Muhammad Irfan Asyraff bin Ismail, and I'll be explaining on the fourth criteria, which is the enforcement of punishments for any incompliance or negligence to the implemented environmental laws in the factory. For the environmental management system to operate properly, environmental laws and standards related to the factory that have been discussed then implemented within the system should be notified to all workers of the factory as mentioned in criteria 2, to ensure that any miscommunication or misunderstanding of the implementation of the system can be avoided completely. If any of the laws were to be broken, action or punishments like fines or even demotion of position should be used to invoke a proper following of the environmental laws and standards set within the environmental management system. This can be executed by forming a team of workers that can supervise on fellow workers of the factory according to their shifts and report any instances of noncompliance or negligence to a higher up who will then report it into a logbook.
The last criteria for our environmental policy is ensuring an annual review on environmental management system, which is produced and updated for the improvement of our environmental standard. Daily and weekly logs from machinery inspection, any punishment and fines within the company must be properly recorded monthly. Monthly compilation of the logs for each aspect will be emphasized on annual company meetings, and the findings can help improve the environmental standard for the following years. That's all from us. Thank you.